Hey Art One, here's a quick video tutorial on how to set up your grid over top your photo of the portrait of the person that you'll be painting for your color scheme portrait project. Here we are in Google Classroom. You can see there's 8 steps to this process. The first thing you're going to need to do is select a photograph that you want to work from. Remember, it can be a picture that you took. If that's the case, it's probably on your phone and you need to upload that picture to your drive or to your computer. Otherwise, it can be somebody who's a celebrity or a picture that you found online. Do a Google search. So here I am in Google. I looked up a famous painter named Salvador Dali. And as I look at pictures to choose from, make sure that you are choosing an actual photograph taken from a camera, like this one, or this one, and you're not working from somebody else's artwork, like this painting here, or even down here, these are paintings. So I want to make sure I'm not plagiarizing anybody else's work. All right, so this is a very famous photo of Salvador Dali, and I'm going to use this one. When I click on it, I'm going to double check, put your cursor over top of the picture, and look in the lower left-hand corner. There should be 2 numbers there. Those are the dimensions in pixels. This picture right now at 313 by 400, that is too small. I don't want to do a picture that's smaller than 500. It'll just be grainy and pixelated when I try to work with it. So instead, I'm going to keep scrolling and looking to see if I can find a higher image quality of that same photo or something similar that I like. Here's the same picture. I'll click on this one. Now looking at the numbers in the lower left-hand corner, this is a much higher image quality. And so I'll go ahead and save this picture. This is the one I'm going to work from. Either a right-hand click or a 2-finger click. Choose Save Image As. Make sure you're saving it either to your Google Drive or to Downloads. I'm going to rename this Salvador Dali Portrait. And save it. Okay, going back to Google Classroom, I have just completed steps number 1 and 2. Now I'm going to open the image in Pixlr Editor to posterize it. Right here, there's a link, Online Photo Editor. Click that link. And you're going to notice that this interface is different than what we saw in the classroom. Pixlr's been doing some updates. If you really want to go back and use what we saw and what we were using in the classroom, scroll down to where it says looking for something old and choose Pixlr Editor, and you'll find the screen that you got comfortable with, that we were doing this in class. If you're up for the new version, go ahead and click where it says Launch Pixlr E. All right, and so now I'm going to go ahead and open my image by clicking Open Image. Make sure I'm finding it in my downloads. Here's the picture I just downloaded. Go ahead and open it. And now I'm going to go ahead and posterize it. So I'm going to go Adjustment, choose Posterize, which is 3rd to the bottom. And you can even click up at the top of this box and drag it off to the side so you can see your artwork. Click the slider bar and you will notice that it separates out the values into more defined shapes rather than how it looked as a photograph where it was much more evenly blended. So move it around until you get a nice variation of values without it being too simple, like this straight black and white, like that. That's too few of values. If I go all the way to the far right, that's going to be just like the original photo, which you can try. You just have to be really, really confident in your painting skills that you can blend and you can visually see the different value changes. My suggestion, it's going to be easier for you if you go with something that looks more like this, where you have your highlights, your midtones, and your shadows. So look for the skin and look to make sure you have at least 3 different values. 3 to 5 is good. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so when you're happy with it, go ahead and click Apply. and then you're going to save the picture. So I'm going to go File, Save, and I'm going to just add to the name that it was the one that I posterized, so that when I'm working with it, I don't accidentally go back to the original photo. All right, I'm going to download that. And now, going back to Google Classroom, I am moving on to step 5, which is open the Google Drawing document with the grid. That's this link right here. Click on grid. And I made a grid that everyone can use. You are going to need to make your own copy. So go to File, Make a Copy, and now you'll have editing access to it. I'm going to go ahead and rename this so that it's easy to find in my Google Drive. Okay, the grid is in place. Now I'm going to put my picture in there. I'm going to go Insert, Image, Upload from Computer. If you're doing this on a Chromebook, it's probably on your drive, not on your computer. It's the one that I posterized, so I want to make sure that the one that I renamed with the posterized added to the name is the one I'm actually selecting. Okay, I opened it. This picture, I'm pretty lucky. This picture is almost a perfect fit to my paper, but you may have an image that needs to be cropped. So let's say that I want to fill the paper completely. I'm going to enlarge it by clicking on the picture and then clicking the corner blue boxes and enlarging or shrinking, and make it fill the paper as best as I can. And I made it fill the top to the bottom, but I know the sides are actually going to be too big. I saw that happen when I was enlarging it. You can see back there. So I'm going to have to crop it. The easiest way to do this is to go to Format Options, and this will only be visible if your picture is selected. So if your picture isn't selected, you won't see it. So click on the picture, then click Format Options. Go to Adjustments, choose Transparency, and put it at about 50%, which is about halfway. Now I can see through my picture to my grid and my actual piece of paper here. And I can see where the picture is hanging off over the edge. I'm going to click the Crop tool, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that in and see if you can get the line to turn red. That is ideal because that means you lined up perfectly on the edge of the paper. But it doesn't happen every time, so just try to get it as close as you can to the edge of the paper. Notice that to crop, you're using these black bars. And so if you're not grabbing those, you're grabbing the blue squares instead. You're resizing your picture instead of cropping. So it's the black bars for crop. When you're happy with cropping and you feel like you've cropped it exactly to the piece of paper, just click in this space off to the side, the gray workspace, and that commits to your crop. Now remember to go back and change your transparency to 100%, 100% opacity. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. I now just made sure that my picture is exactly the same fit for my piece of paper, but I don't see my grid. I need to reorder. So I'm going to go to Arrange, Order, and send this picture to the back. Now my grid is in front and my picture is in the back. There are spots where my lines are no longer visible for my grid. So I'm going to change the color to make sure that I can see these lines. Click on your grid. Right now, this part that's a darker blue, I have it so I've selected only one box in the grid. I want to select the entire grid. So I'm going to click again on this blue frame, this thick blue frame around the whole thing. And then choose this pencil icon right here and pick a color that is going to show up. So play around with that until you find something that you think is easy to see with your picture behind it. And make sure you've renamed it, and then go ahead and turn this in on Google Classroom. So going back to Google Classroom, you're going to attach this as an attachment to this assignment. And that way I'll be able to print it for you when we return to class, and you'll be able to work on this project. All right, thanks for watching.